Hi, y'all. Welcome to this week's episode of the Sith Justice Warriors podcast, where we talk movies, comics, anime, gaming, and everything under the twin suns of Tatooine. I am joined by Princess Lumpia and Darth Sirius, so we've got the full gang here today.
We are live.
What's up, guys?
Hey, so couple of little news tidbits as we try to break through this little quarantine fun that we've been going through that I'm happy to see a possible end. But one of the juiciest things that just recently came out is the rumor, and again, it's a rumor, but the rumor through a leaked website that the hiring of the new Lucasfilm's Disney showrunner, darn it, I forgot her name. But she was supposed to create a Disney Plus show that's all female centric in the Star Wars universe. And quite frankly, Bob Iger and Bob Chapek and Disney executives are not happy because if you look at this, it wasn't an official.
Leslie Headland was her name.
Thank you.
It was
Leslie Hesling.
Variety broke the scoop.
Yeah, Variety broke it. And it was kind of like how Kathleen Kennedy had her extension announced. It wasn't through Disney. It was through like Variety or Hollywood Reporter. And then actually they never really confirmed it. But the interesting thing is in the rumor, and shout out to a lot of the YouTubers out there who kind of put some information. But basically, the rumor is that someone noted that they weren't happy because Leslie is the assistant of Harvey Weinstein for about a year. She comes with a bit of baggage. The idea that we're going through Mandalorian 2, there's a little bit of excitement. We're getting the fans back. And then all of a sudden, female-centric, we don't need the male toxic fans. And here we go again. And so the rumor is that there's top high-level executives connecting, talking about what to do next and how to damage control this. So I'll start with you, Lumpia. What do you think about this? Is there a fact? Is this fiction? What are your thoughts?
I do think it's fact, and it's interesting because I think Leslie Headland was one of the producers or showrunners for a critically acclaimed show. I never got to see it. I think it was called Russian Dolls. And she actually met her spouse there. Not on there, but her spouse, Rebecca, I forget what her last name was. She is on there too. It's interesting that this kind of flew under the radar. It didn't come as an official announcement from Disney. So it feels like a purposeful leak to me. Why, I don't know why it was done this way. If the rumor is true that Disney is upset about it, then maybe something was still going on behind the scenes to get everything kind of sort of lined up for this announcement to happen. And I guess it kind of just blew up or kind of, since there's nothing else to talk about anymore, like, there aren't any new shows on Disney Plus. There's no movies to talk about. We're all kind of operating on these kind of things. What's interesting is that, Disney, I feel like maybe they weren't fully bought in yet with this person. And so that's why they were holding off on it, or things were just, like I said, being worked on behind the scenes. What I found interesting was that the reason that the announcement kind of went through on Variety, right, is that she was supposed to create for Disney Plus an all-female Star Wars show. And then the news also recently just broke of Cassian Andor's TV show, and they casted Mon Mothma. And it's like, was Mon Mothma really like that big of a deal in all the Star Wars movies that now in Rogue One it's like such an important character to cast that we have to have some news come out about it. I think Disney is trying to cool down on this whole agenda, so to speak, I'll call it, of having this all-female thing, because I also saw another article that pretty much said that, there isn't a demand for Star Wars, like for Star Wars right now. There isn't a demand for Star Wars. I'm trying to find
the toys.
um
I think you're talking about the toys because Hasbro, I guess in their earnings call or something, mentioned that Star Wars toys, the sequel trilogy, was not selling well. I heard
so it
something
wasn't
like that.
okay, so what Diamond Toys, that's what it was. Sorry. Diamond Toys on Bleeding Fool and Bound into Comics websites, they said that there's no demand for Disney Star Wars characters in terms of toys. And like I said, like it because I saw a lot of the Rey toys from the very first Star Wars, they were in a lot of the discount stores.
Yeah, I saw them in Marshalls.
Yeah, so like
that shows you how fast they've been selling.
One of those things. It's like, of course they're not selling, and she was supposed to be. But anyway, I digress. What I was trying to say was, I think that Disney is taking the time right now to reassess a lot of things. They have a lot of bigger things to worry about. What I am disappointed in is their lack of Disney Plus. I have not turned on Disney Plus with the exception that we watched Ratatouille a couple weeks ago, which I love that movie, and we watched Toy Story 4, which was excellent.
Fantastic film.
Those were the only two things that I turned on Disney Plus for. There's nothing new on there. I think we're waiting for the Cassian Andor series. There is a biopic of The Mandalorian, which I will watch if I'm bored one day, but it's not going to be like on my top 10 to watch. But because I want to see the next Mandalorian. Like, I want to see season 2. I don't want to see a biopic about it. So the lack of programming, and this is a time when you want to win because everyone is stuck at home. Everyone is stuck at home for maybe another month. So you have 1 month. You had a few months, actually, Disney, to win over more subscribers with programming and to put programming in that mattered, and you didn't. And that's where the disappointment is. Instead of, like, how we were talking before, the launch of Black Widow on Disney Plus instead of on the theaters, but then they ended up pushing it out. I really think they could have done justice to a lot of the things that Americans are going through, and a lot of people, actually, the nation, the world, by allowing it to be on Disney Plus and having it there for us to see at home in the comfort of our home, rather than pushing it out and delaying a lot of the films subsequently. This has caused sort of, and I'm going to go on a tangent, this has caused a domino effect in the movie industry for them, specifically under their Marvel wing, because that delay caused the delay of a lot of other things. Eternals is now delayed. The Spider-Man franchise Sony has announced is delayed. Black Widow is delayed. Doctor Strange is delayed because Spider-Man is delayed. And so the whole Marvel Phase 4 is delayed. And it's sad because this was a perfect opportunity to launch Disney Plus and push it forward. They did put Onward on there because I think they had no choice. It was in theaters that week that basically every state almost started saying stay at home. Excuse me. And so, when you think about it, they totally missed the boat on that. And the delays are happening, and it's going to cause a ripple. And so they have a bigger issue to worry about than Disney Plus. I get it. But I think they were trying to hold off on all of these announcements because they are still trying to figure out what to do in this new world that we live in. And I will leave it at
that. Yeah, I mean, with all these like delays, it's like a kid on a beach like building a giant sandcastle, and they work so long on it, and then all of a sudden some douchebag just runs along and just kicks it, and it just ruins it, and it's like you have to start all over again. That's exactly what this feels like. I feel like it's like never ending. I mean, like this COVID-19 pandemic has really put a damper not just on Marvel but on a lot of things. And I mean, I'll say this about the Star Wars thing. I mean, as far as the all-female thing is, don't make a film just to say, oh, I want an all-female cast because you're trying to make a point on some kind of like movement. Like am I against an all-female Star Wars? Absolutely not. But am I against an all-female Star Wars just for the sake of having one? Yes. I mean, if the story is fine, if it makes sense, then fine. It's like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way. But it's kind of like take the female Ghostbusters for an example.
Oh, wow.
I knew it wasn't going to be as good as the other ones. I just had that feel just from the trailer. Again, that's why people put out trailers. You have to engage the audience. You have to make them want to see it before it actually releases. The trailers just didn't do it for me. I just happened to have watched it on a flight going somewhere last year. I believe it was on American, and it was okay. Like it was nothing to write home about, but it was watchable. I'm not gonna say it was the greatest movie, but the reason why it was watched, like I put all that shit aside. Like I forget about the fact that okay, they're creating an all females ghost. I just took the movie for what it is, and I feel like that's what you have to do with these. When you think about these future projects, you can't just go gung ho and say, "Oh well, there's not enough females, so let's go make it's all female Star Wars." Because when you go in with that kind of mentality, it's going to turn out terrible. And I always say that because that's your only focus. It's like your focus. It's like your job is done. You have your female cast, and then it's like, now what? It's like they don't have enough time to develop a strong enough story. So I mean, like if you're gonna do it, just do it right and do it for the right reasons. But more on the subject of the delays, it's crazy because to your point, Lumpia, it's like when are we going to get to see everything that's coming to fruition? It's like we just finished an amazing Infinity Saga, and there's this big giant gap in the MCU because there's so many delays of production. And it's funny because there is an article on Cheat Sheet that the Russo brothers, they want to make sure that when the theaters reopen, whenever that is, they want Infinity War and Endgame to be the first movies people see, at least in the MCU. I kind of think that's a pretty good move because, especially when it comes to the normies. I mean, obviously the devoted fans that like know about the characters and follow them from the comics, obviously they're gonna go see all the movies no matter what. But when you fuck with a normie's schedule, like they tend to just forget about it. Like if everything doesn't fall in line like accordingly, and like you plan on going to see something and then all of a sudden it just gets delayed. Like sometimes to a certain normie, it'll get delayed so far out to the point where they just end up forgetting about it. And I feel like putting Infinity War and Endgame in the theaters again, obviously, I know there's going to be tons of people saying, oh, here are the Russo brothers at it again, trying to make more money. No, Endgame is already the highest grossing film of all time. Okay. So anybody with that kind of, mentality about the Russos trying to make extra money, no. It's like it's already the highest grossing movie, so drop it. But I think it's a smart move in terms of getting not just the old fans involved, but also more importantly the normies in, just to catch them up to speed and say, oh, by the way, this is where we're left off, and this way it kind of like reduces the gap for when the next movie comes out, because I think Black Widow is the next movie slated.
Yeah, what I do want to say is I think you're onto something there, serious. The thing is, and it is very, you can see it in the commentary you just said, everything is disjointed, and I think this all started with Bob Iger leaving Disney.
Mm-hmm.
He did not, as we've kind of titled in our stream here, I don't think Disney can keep its house in order right now because everything is going out of control. You just said it. Why are we, because everything got pushed out, because they couldn't decide to do it about the movies, then all of this stuff happened. They aren't paying attention to all the announcements and the things that are happening in-house, such as appointments of people in the C-suite, people working on specific projects, Disney Plus, even the Marvel situation. Everything is out of control. Everything is spinning out of control. It all kind of started with Bob Iger leaving. I don't know that the new management understands what the hell's going on. Then there's the whole situation with the comic book piece, which we haven't even touched, which we've touched before. Things are a mess there. And that, whatever Sirius just said, that is the reason why a lot of shit is coming up.
It's a giant web of shit.
Exactly.
And everything's just getting fucking tangled together.
Exactly.
Here's a sports analogy. It's like giving $21 million to Taysom Hill as your backup quarterback.
Who the hell is Taysom Hill?
Oh my gosh, you don't know Taysom Hill? He's the backup
quarterback. I will say now, this is probably the biggest tangent we've got. This is probably the biggest tangent we've gone off on, in a very long time. But Taysom Hill is he's technically signed on as a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. However, they've been lining him up at wide receiver.
What?
Yeah, and
you don't watch the Saints games with your red zone?
Is he supposed to be like the second coming of Tim Tebow?
He's basically Tim Tebow, but he can run, catch, and all that stuff. Didn't he beat the? Anyway, my point is that his gadget guy got $21 million.
Yeah, Inspector Gadget.
That's like Lucasfilms giving a show to Leslie and her fantastic looking self because more representation.
Yeah, I didn't even go there because I didn't want to say it. And there's no offense to it, but it feels very heavy-handed of Disney to skew very much so with specific demographics. And they are leaning hard into LGBT territory, and I don't understand it.
Did you see Clone Wars, the new season?
No, but I heard it. I know the past Clone Wars was good. I have not been a devoted.
I just saw the screenshots, and I'm like, yep, this sounds like Kathleen Kennedy, like the screenshots of the two characters with Ahsoka. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, and again, I'm not against all female casts or LGBT characters. It's but just don't do it. And I don't know if this is going to sound bad to the wrong person, but it's don't do it just for the sake of representation.
Yeah, I agree.
Because again, it's good that you want to have representation, but it's if it's not natural, then people. But again, the reason why you put out product is to make money. And if it's not engaging enough to people, if people don't believe it or they're not sold on it, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
and if people aren't sold on it, it's this ego defense comes in. If you do something just for the sake of representation, say for this all-female Star Wars, they're doing it just for the sake of, I'm not assuming, let's just say for the sake of argument, they're doing it for the sake of representation, right? They're having an all-female Star Wars. They're really gung-ho. They're really passionate. But like I said, when you're that passionate about just doing it for the sake of representation, either story lacks, something lacks in the production. And then you release this product, and then people don't like it. So what do you think these creators are going to do? They're going to call them racist. They're going to call them sexist.
Hey, look at the comic book industry. All those comic book pros said that us people that wanted good stories and good art are just we like to fap to comic book characters, and we just don't understand the plight. Yeah. And look at them now on Twitter, realizing they're scrambling, we gotta save the comic book stores. You know what? There's a lot of better stuff out there on a Kickstarter and Indiegogo, so no, you miss me, man. You miss me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's drink your Kool-Aid, but just remember Kool-Aid has an expiration date too.
That's so true.
So you're gonna cry?
But no, Fan. What are your thoughts, Fan? We've
Yes,
spoken
please.
too
I
much.
can't wait to hear this. Come on.
Wait, about Leslie, or do you want about?
About Leslie and Disney. Can they keep it in house? Do you have some thoughts around?
Oh, he does.
Do you have some thoughts around what happened with that announcement?
It's okay. So it's Kathleen Kennedy putting the her deep state into Lucasfilms because she knows she's getting let go in 2021. I still don't believe Kathleen Kennedy was extended, even though she's still here. Obviously, she's very quiet. Another thing is that to this day, they've never announced it officially that she officially got. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember Disney saying we gave her a 3-year contract, but then again, it's not sports, so I guess they don't really announce that stuff. But she's been quiet. The High Republic, that was a shit show because when they did that trailer to announce how they arrived to the High Council, was it High Council? High Republic. And on the idea board, it's like its story is like the number 4 important thing, and it's representation. That's like the number 1 or 2. And I'm like, God damn, these people never learn. Because to them, they see, what, 1 billion or so, or 800 million?
Yep.
But to the people that don't like it, we're pointing out, hey, you've been declining, 10%, 50%, whatever. And no, they think that because they're in Disney that they're forever safe. They probably have a checkbox, so good for them. But unfortunately, Disney's furloughed a lot of people, and without the parks, because the parks are their moneymaker.
Which won't be open till next year, I heard.
Yeah, the movies do well and all, but if they keep putting out movies like what was the one with Oprah Winfrey?
The Wrinkle in Time.
You keep pulling out Wrinkles in Time, and you know what I mean. They can't do anything creative. They're so creatively bankrupt. They have to do Frozen 5 because they probably have to do the 3 more Frozens. They got to beat the living crap out of that one. I don't know.
Frozen 2 did not do as good as Frozen 1, I tell you.
Oh shit!
And I never saw it, but so I can't say. But just based on what I'm seeing.
Watch, they're gonna make a Frozen saga. It's like, hey, Marvel has an Infinity Saga. What?
They have to.
Yeah, watch.
But they have never found that Frozen.
You know what's weird? What's weird about Frozen is that they always dance around Elsa.
Yep.
But they know that this is not a 25-year-old movie. 25-year-old's movie. This is like a 5 to 10. Not even like a child's movie, and these people keep pushing. We need to have Elsa be one way, and then they tell us, you guys sexualize characters.
Oh God!
Just let it go.
Let it go, Look, Disney's gonna suffer, and I think they may go down the AT&T route. They may actually start become money focused, and so Marvel Comics, which is what I'm hoping, is that Marvel Comics actually gets a little bit slap in the face, cold water, and just make good products. I mean, that's all we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that Marvel isn't putting out good products; it just needs to be consistent.
No, the only good product they have is the variant covers. That's all they have, in my opinion. The stories are... Look, you've already butchered everything when you decided to make Scott, Logan, and freaking Jean Grey threesome, with the rumor you're making Jean Grey and Emma Frost another side piece. God.
Yeah.
God. Give me some... God. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. But I'm going on a tangent here is that I think I think if I take it back to the Lucasfilm thing, it's Kathleen Kennedy knows her time is up, and so what she's decided is she's going to put in all her people in key places in the hidden parts of her darkest dungeon, so that whoever takes
fucking Voldemort, it's like she's hiding her fucking Horcruxes a little.
Yeah, exactly. So she's hiding her Horcruxes there because she knows her time is up, and then when the new leadership comes in, those sleeper cells that are already there, they can't be fired, or if they're going to be fired, they're just going to make a living hell out of it.
Yeah.
So my thought is that this is her play, that she needs her female initiative to stay there forever, because if it doesn't, then it's a failure.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see if something dramatic happens, because I think Disney even allowed an official trailer for that crappy High Republic thing where they showed off the story was like third or fourth on the list of important things for a Star Wars story. So for them not to promote Leslie, who's their wet dream, it's their wet dream. It's like the checkbox is right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Multiple checkboxes.
Yeah. No, it is, and it's like, but that's not what it's supposed to be about. Like, this is supposed to be about what's right for, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, it's right for their agenda. How about we look at it that way?
And you know what? The more they keep doing it, I mean, the problem with Disney is we reward bad behavior. So when the movies are going to come out, yeah, a lot of the normies are going to keep going to watch Infinity War. So they're going to keep getting money off of it. They're going to, reward the bad behavior we're going to watch the MCU. And so we're going to watch She-Hulk and the She-Hulk writer who says she hates men and hates South Park and all that stuff because it's offensive.
Oh, God.
But we're going to watch it, right?
Yeah. We love
the MCU. We're going to watch Kamala Khan. Oh, I want to know the metrics for that Kamala Khan series. I'm licking my lips because I really want to know. They will never tell you the metrics for that, but they will. If that thing's bleeding like negative 100% in terms of like quote unquote metrics that they want, like viewership and sales, they will still put that up because that is the fortress. That's like their headquarters. If Kamala Khan like fails, which I don't know how she hasn't failed already, but she is the greatest Marvel character in the world, right? Like I said, she could bleed 1,000% profit, negative in the red, and they will still prop her up. But and you know what? When the Disney Plus they review that Disney Plus show, they're gonna say A+.
Well, no. What's interesting is, and it's gone now. I was trying to find an article. There was an article about Miss Marvel not being like adequate enough for the Avengers game or something like that because of her powers, and I was like,
duh.
And I was like,
yeah, at least Reed Richards was smart too.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Like Reed Richards at least also was smart. So where's Kamala Khan's thing? Because she clearly the funny thing is Kamala Khan idolized Carol Danvers when she was Miss Marvel. That's why she took the Miss Marvel name. But the irony is her powers, if she should have copied Carol's powers. Instead, she copied Reed Richards.
It is kind of funny. Because technically, yeah. I mean...
Because it goes to show you whoever created this person was really lazy about it. I think it may have been the time when Fantastic Four was out of... They didn't have
I think they phased them out for a little bit, yeah. But
and
that article was gone. It was like the problem with Kamala Khan being in the Avengers game, and I can't find it. I wanted to send it to you, but oh well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's it from me. That's all I got for you.
No, it's all good. I think that for us, that's a good start to the future, if
Yeah.
anything. But hopefully, I don't know. I think we'll learn more. Give it about a month or two. The issue is that there's just too many unknowns, and they're trying to plan things that just aren't happening. I mean, no one's filming right now in this quarantine, and if they are, I mean, I don't know how they're managing it because you can't have more than 50 people. But I will say, if anyone's listening out there, that Disney should just let us have what they have. Like, just don't delay anymore. Don't focus on what you can't control. Focus on what you can control and get your house in order and figure out what your identity is. They're having a big identity crisis and it's showing. And maybe that's why Iger left. Good for him.
No, he didn't. He's still controlling. He's the chairman, and he decided to take control. But anyway, I guess let's wrap it up here. And any last thoughts before I wrap up the show?
No, I think just hope that everyone's okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We'd love to hear what you guys are kind of doing with the spare time we all have, with this quarantine stay at home hashtag thing. But yeah, let us know. I know, Sirius, you've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. We've been catching up on Destiny fan. So just curious to see how everyone's doing. Hope everyone's doing well, and we'd be interested to hear. So tweet us at Justice Sith on Twitter or email us at
Sith Justice Warriors Podcast at email.com.
Yep.
Great. We'll talk to you later. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.